Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Heayman 24 podcast. And today I wanted to talk about how our individual grinds towards our goals, our dreams, desires, what have you. It's gonna be hard, and it is hard, to reach those. And it's already hard enough that, it's been a rocky year, a lot of stuff is broken out this year. We had the virus and all that. All this tough stuff that everybody has to deal with, but I think that's like the important part, the cool part about our journeys is that it's gonna be hard, It's gonna be tough, it's gonna be filled with pain and suffering, and of course positive things, but those moments when you feel like you should give up, or those moments where you doubt yourself, or you feel guilt, or anything negative, I feel like that can be used to pull yourself back up. And I know it's hard to see that when you're in the moment, of course. I know it is for me. So it's not something that's easy to do. I think it takes time, self-improvement. But I think looking at negative stuff through a different lens can further your mind and further your progress for whatever it is that you want to do in life. Because, once you finish high school or college, and for those out there that have, or even not even that, for anybody that's experienced how hard life really is, it doesn't even matter the age, because problems come to anybody, whether they're children, whether they're teens, whether they're adults. And I think that sometimes those problems can definitely affect us. It can affect the way we treat others, it can affect the way we speak, our mindsets. But I think, moving forward and for me personally, I think that all this negative stuff has definitely been a tool to help further my growth as a person, And that's just my perspective of negative things. And of course, it's not, we don't all want to go through negative stuff to be the best person that, we want to be. We rather just have a peaceful journey and, an easier way to achieve our goals, And I feel like with it being so hard and with the real life being hard, I feel like it gives you more of a reason to push to be the greatest version of yourself and to achieve achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because it's not going to be easy, no matter what it is that you want to do in life. No matter if you want cars, or if you want to help people, or you want $1 million, whatever it might be for you. It's different for everybody, but whatever it is for you, understanding that this grind is going to be inconceivably hard is the great part. Because you know that you're up against a battle, it's a war. And I think that most of that will definitely take place in your mind. I feel like there's definitely things outside of your life that you can't control. We've already seen that this year, but I feel like with stress, or, with procrastination or laziness or whatever it might be, I feel like those things will definitely make your journey a lot harder. And it definitely has for me, And it's definitely not easy, Nothing about grinding for what you want in life is going to be easy, and it's not going to be handed to you. Or there are some people out there that do have their stuff handed to them, but if you're like me, you're gonna have to work hard for the things that you want in life. Super hard, more than I can conceive right now. And I'm kind of happy that it's like that, because at least I know where I could go, compared to if I gave up and decided not to do anything with my life, It's so easy to say that whatever I'm working for, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, or self-improvement, or for job, or for anything in life, I could just give up, and just be a bum and not do anything. That's the easy way out, It's too easy to be just a mediocre person, I feel like. And I know I definitely have been, or I might have mediocre habits, and that's definitely why I want to self-improve and change my mind and filter out all this negative or horrible habits, and just build myself up better. Because I feel like for the longest time, I made my own life harder. And it wasn't because of anybody else, It was because of the way I was acting or the choices that I made. And I felt like I halted back on a lot of potential and progress that I could have had if I was more self-aware of the stuff I was doing, or if I actually took the stuff more seriously, you know? Whether that be school, whether that be with relationships, or whatever you have, you know? I feel like I could have progressed more as a person if I didn't spend a lot of time just being foolish and all that. But at the same time, it is kind of good that I haven't been the best version of myself, or I've made these mistakes, or I had these bad habits, because I feel like now since I can look back and see that I have them, I can put together a plan to fix it, you know? And that's like, especially moving forward, you know? Life is going to get hard for all of us in individual ways, because it's part of our unique journey to grow from our trials, you know? And I know for me, looking at stuff I've done in the past is helping me put together this plan of like, all right, so this is what I'm going to do in my 20s to better myself, or this is what I'm going to do, you know, here and there, short term, long term, midterm, whatever, you know, to better myself. And I think that having a plan or knowing where you're headed is like a really good foundation to help you out, so that you know when life gets rough, when you have trials coming from either yourself or other people coming your way, you know what you're shooting for, you know? It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a great feeling to know when you have a plan and you know that not everything's going to go according to plan, but like overall, if you know what you're going to work for, you know you're going to get it because you have that potential. And I think it's good that, you know, I tell someone about this, or, you know, me and my friends talk about success a lot, and all of us want to do different things. And every time I talk to them, I get motivated, you know, because there's so much potential within all of us, and we all know we can do great things. And it's like, on top of that, there's gonna be that pushback, you know, whether it be yourself or any external thing that pushes you from achieving what you want. You gotta break through those walls, you know. I know for me, my biggest struggle that's been holding me back in life has been my mind, you know. I live a pretty blessed life, you know. I have 2 great parents, I have really amazing friends. I had a great neighborhood I grew up in, or I'm living in right now. Didn't really grow up in a great one growing up, but I'm still thankful for what it was, because, you know, not a lot of people have homes or have those great things, so that was that. And like, I went to great schools and everything, but I developed bad habits, you know? And I developed a mindset that wasn't healthy, and I developed like this anger and bitterness towards certain people or myself. And like, I was halting my progress, you know? Just growing up. And like, I remember my mom always telling me, like, she expected more, you know, expected better in these different areas in life. And I thought she was just nagging about it, you know? But like, as I look back, you know, I realized like, people are going to try to help you, you know? And like, as much as they want to try to help you, you gotta want that help for yourself. And that's what I was struggling with, you know? I always like thought it was a weakness to ask for people's help. And I don't know, I think I know where it stemmed from, but like, it's sad that that was my mindset, you know? No matter what I went through in life, I'd keep it to myself, and I would never want to ask people for help because I thought it was a weakness. But I wouldn't mind helping other people, and it's contradictory, isn't it? And I'm kind of glad I got that help, or like, that people helped me or gave me advice in life. Even if I didn't take it at that time, I can take it now, and, you know? I can hold on to it now, and I can put it into work now. Because I'm in the present right now, you know? This is the time where I can work on myself. I can't work on my past self. I can only work on me right now, and then I can plan for the future. And that's the important part. Is work on yourself now, do what you can in the present, which we can mostly control ourselves, right? So that's good. And build a plan for your future. And know that whatever you deal with individually, we're all going to have those problems that we're going to deal with, and that pushback, you know, and it's not going to go away, you know. Life is hard, but that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like, through the hardship, through the pain and struggling, you could be someone that no one ever thought you could be, or even yourself, you know. In my opinion, I don't think that people should try to go out and prove themselves to people. But I think you should prove something to yourself, you know what I mean? Like, prove to yourself that you can be more than just average or just a normal everyday person, you know? Like, just prove it to whoever it matters to, you know? But most of all, prove it to you because you owe you, you know? And if you're like someone like me that screwed up a lot, made all these bad mistakes and had all these bad habits, you know, I owe myself a lot more than what I was doing back then, you know? That's why I owe it to myself to self-improve. I owe it to myself to accomplish every single one of these goals that I have for myself in the future and put a plan together so I can do that. And that's why, you know, all this baggage of like hard stuff makes it even more compelling to me, because it's like, I know when the hard stuff comes, I know it's not something that can break me, you know? I know it's not something that's going to break my foundation and my plans for my life. It's just stuff that's going to come, whether it be through my mind, whether it be through anything, you know? It's going to come, and I'm going to use it as a tool or as fuel, you know, to further fuel myself to do better things in life. Because I used to look at hardships as it is negative, I think, you know? Hardships, they suck and they are hard, regardless of where that hardship comes from, whether it's your parents, yourself, your community, your society, you know, anybody. But I think that when that hard stuff starts coming at you, just know that you can overcome that, you know? That you're an overcomer, and I have to tell myself that. That's why talking about this, it definitely helps me, you know? And I definitely hope it helps someone out there, because ultimately, whatever you're going through can be overcome by a choice, you know, that you have to make. No one else can like, people can point you in the right direction or the wrong direction, but ultimately at the end of the day, whatever you're going to do with your life, or whatever you're going to do with your relationships or your schooling or your society or your community, no matter what it's going to be, it's all going to be a choice. But don't let it be dictated by how hard life is. And that's what I've tried to tell myself recently, you know? And recently my life hasn't been hard at all, you know? I'm not trying to boast or anything. I'm just saying, like, my life's been pretty normal. There are stuff that I wish I can do, but I can't at the moment. But the stuff that I can fix, that I can do at the moment, is work on myself. And that's what I'm going to do, you know? And I think it's just great to, I guess, look at hardships from a different perspective, you know? And I hope that anyone out there that's going through something hard can listen to this, and maybe that can set them on the right path, or maybe it points them in the right direction or shifts their perspective, you know? Because it sucks, you know? You know, this year, worldwide has sucked, but there's so much you can gain and so much perspective you can get from this year that's positive, you know? Like, sure, we have to wear a mask and we have to, like, go out. We can't go out that much, you know, and all that stuff. And they have, like, the social distancing, whatever. But, like, the good stuff that's come from it, you know, you can spend more time with friends, you can spend more time with family, you know? Although the world's going through a hardship, there's so much positive we can squeeze out of it, you know? And I don't want that to go unnoticed by myself or from anybody that I know. I want them to definitely know that this year for me has been a year of, like, 20/20 vision, and, you know, a year of clarity. I feel like I've learned so much about myself this year than I ever had my entire life, and I'm not even trying to, like, over-exaggerate or overdo anything, you know? I feel like I've learned so much about myself, about my purpose, my beliefs, my goals, my intentions, you know, my drive, and, you know, my overall plan for life. I feel like I learned a lot about it, and I wouldn't have gotten to the point where I'm at unless I didn't try to fight back against the hardships of life, you know? The mental battle, you know? Or the spiritual battle, whatever it is for you personally. Like, you gotta keep fighting on. And I know there's certain times where I definitely didn't want to give up, not on life, but I'm going to give up on, like, myself, whether that be for school, because I didn't feel like I was, like, smart. Like, one thing I always struggled with was math, so, like, I just had this, and I'm only speaking for myself here, I just had this loser mentality that, like, I can't get any better, you know? I keep trying, I keep letting myself down, and then when my parents see the grades, you know, I feel like it reflects, like, they think that I'm, you know, I may be letting them down, and it just sucked. Like, I beat myself up so much mentally to the point where, like, I don't know, I hardened myself, you know? And that's not good. It's not good to beat yourself up, you know? If there's areas in life where you need to improve, definitely improve. And I don't know, I just struggled a lot with, like, letting hardships pretty much, you know, I just gave up on myself. And I know another area was, like, let's see, I struggled with school. I would say with, like, improvement as a person, you know? I felt like, I know sometimes I wasn't at my best, and I was clearly aware of it. And I felt like, you know, sometimes I'm like, what do I do to be a better, you know, a better son? Or like, what do I do to be a better friend, like grandson? Like, how do I better myself so I can call my family more? I could check up on friends more. Like, there were certain areas in life where I was like, definitely just felt like overwhelmed at the hardships of, you know, just, I don't know, I think I overcrowded my mind with so much stuff, especially in my high school years. And I just holding myself back as a person, you know? And it wasn't anybody else's fault, it was my own mental I was dealing with, you know, my own war in my head. And I know that it's hard, you know. I think another thing, by the way, like, I remember you know, like, just growing up, I'm just a naturally skinny person, you know. Not like super skinny, but I'm skinny. And like, I remember, like, you know, people make jokes at school. Not a lot of people, just like, not even that often, but like sometimes, you know, throughout my 12 years of school. And like, I'd beat myself up about my appearance, about what other people think of me, or like just the judgment, you know. And I let that get to me so much where, like, I'm holding myself down as a person, you know. Like, all this growth and potential is like I'm just cutting down the plant that I grew, you know. Like, I'd have a seed that'd be my self-improvement, it would sprout, and then something would happen, and then the stem gets cut from whatever hardships, you know, I had in life. And like, now it's like, as I start to grow, you know, I'm a young adult, so like, I'm still learning a lot about life, but I still feel like the journey's only begun, you know. Like, yeah, there's a couple of things, well, actually a lot of things I could have fixed in the past, but for the things that, whatever things I did, I'm glad I did those things, because now I'm here, and now I know exactly what I can do and where I'm headed. And like, I have aim, you know, I have an aim of where to go. And I do stumble, you know, sometimes here and there in life. But I don't let the hardship define me, you know. I don't let it, like, just sit on my head and just, like, me wanting to give up. I don't let myself do that anymore. I know sometimes the thought of giving up is in the back of my head, because that's something I dealt with for a long time. So that's like a leech, you know. I just have to continue fighting forward, and then one day just rip it off and just get it out of my head, you know. Or there's things I still feel guilty about, or still feel sad about, that already happened in the past. So I'm slowly, you know, just growing. And like, for me, change is, I could tell, for me to change my life, it's going to be a slow and gradual thing. But it's better that I do that than do nothing at all, you know? Because if I just don't do anything, it's like, what am I doing with my life, you know? I'm the same person. I have no aim, no focus. Like, I just don't want to be the worst version of myself. I want to continue to mentally push myself, physically push myself, spiritually, whatever it might be, you know? And like, push myself to my absolute limit. And continue going through hardships instead of wanting to avoid them, like I tried to a lot growing up, you know? I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like all these hardships of life, you know? Taking responsibility was a big one. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I struggled with because I tried to find the easy way out. And even with school, I'll go back to that. I did the bare minimum. I tried to find the easy way out. It's like, what's the quickest way I can get in and out today, you know? And I'd formulate a plan in my mind, and like, it would develop into my life at home. Or like, at home, I would try to do anything to get out of doing chores, or I'd be lazy, procrastinate to find a way around the stuff I had to do, you know? And it wasn't, I'm not saying that I was a bad child or anything, or a bad teen, you know, I made my mistakes, but like, I'm just giving examples of times where like, I really struggled at my lowest point, you know? I'm, you know, the worst version of myself, and like, I'd always find ways around something. And I realize, even now I'm talking about it too, it's like, you're never gonna grow, you know? Like, I'm talking to myself here, it's like, bro, you're never gonna grow if you go around your problems. And let's say like, your problem is like a huge one, you know? Why would you want to go around it when you can go through it and gain so much knowledge, wisdom, and growth, you know? And, you know, I'm glad I've gotten to the point where I can look at stuff, you know? Like, it's like, imagine like a roadblock, you know? And like, it's the roadblock to your future, you know? There's something there blocking it. It's like, why would you want to go around it and cut easy and still be you when you can go through it and come out the best version of yourself, you know? Like, I'm willing to go through the valley of darkness, you know? I'm willing to travel through this dark forest and not see where my path is going to be, but know my compass, where I'm headed, where my aim's going to be, you know? I'm willing to do that. And I'm glad that I've gotten to a point and matured. I'm still maturing, you know, I'm only 20, so I'm still growing, you know? I haven't figured everything out, even though I admit sometimes I feel like I have, just because of like, I guess my plan or whatever for life. But I don't know, I'm very happy and I'm very excited for what's to come in my 20s, you know? And I'm very excited to just grind, whether it be just get a car in the future, whether it be to improve, keep building up my body physically, doing stuff for other people, you know, being more active in my friends and family life instead of being more distant, you know? I'm just so happy I can, like, you know, unroll this map, you know, and like look at the different places I've been in my life and just like learn from it, and from that experience use that as fuel to help me press on, you know, and overcome the issues, the habits, the procrastination, laziness, whatever it might be, to do that. Because at the end of the day, I owe it to myself to be better than who I was. And I know that I can do it, you know? I used to think that when I was first starting this journey for self-improvement, and, you know, I was thinking about like how hard life is. It felt so distant, you know, all my goals and dreams felt so like far away because I didn't know where to go to start, what to do or anything. But I'm glad I found a foundation, you know, and I got my feet on solid ground and I know where I'm headed. And I hope that, you know, for the people out there that need to hear this, I hope that this can help you out, you know. Hopefully you could build a foundation for yourself, you know, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever, and then set yourself up for success, you know, and embrace the hard times. Because we're not guaranteed anything, you know. No one's gonna hand us anything. We're gonna have to work for it. And if that's what it takes, that's what I'm gonna do, you know. So I know if I can do stuff, if I could get these goals done, I can do anything, you know. And I made it this far. You know, every single day is a blessing. Every single day is a day to change, or in the present moment as I'm talking right now. And it's like every second matters, you know. No, it doesn't have to be all serious like this, you know. I just want to get the message out, you know, that life is going to be, it's going to be hard, present or in the future, when it does pop up, and when life does want to throw a curveball at you. But like when it throws a curveball at you, make sure you spike it right back at it, you know, fight back. And that's what I'm gonna do moving forward, you know. Or I've been doing recently, but definitely moving forward, I'm gonna continue to embrace the hard times, because that's gonna make me even better as a person, you know. Or it's gonna make it where I can talk to someone and they can relate, and I can give them advice or more information or motivation, whatever they might need, you know. So I'm glad I have a tiny bit of experience under my belt, you know. Been alive for 2 decades, so I've definitely been learning a lot, gaining some knowledge and wisdom about my past, and I'm just glad that I could share it, And like I said, just going back to it, life's not going to be easy, for me at least, I guess speaking to myself. But I'm glad it's nothing, I'm glad it's not a handout, I'm glad that if I stay on my path, I can make the people I love proud, or the people that watch this, or anybody, make myself proud, because there's not going to be handouts. I'm going to be grinding for whatever it is in life, and I'm going to do that, my entire life, and I'm always going to have something to work for, work towards better relationships, work towards reading books, working out, whatever it might be. And I'm just glad to start that journey, I know for YouTube and Twitch, it's a huge grind, content creating is I feel like Twitch is definitely easier. YouTube takes a little bit more work, of course, and on my perspective, but there were certain times, even with YouTube and Twitch, I'd look at the numbers, which I probably shouldn't even do, that I did a lot back then, and I let numbers, define my grind. Oh, I guess if I don't get the certain number of views, then I must not be doing the right work, or I must not be working hard enough, when that's not true, It's if I knew I worked hard, if I knew I put in the effort, regardless, then there should be no reason why I feel like that, And the numbers shouldn't even matter anyways, this is a message to myself, this is a message to anybody that wants to listen, And I don't know, that's something I definitely struggle with a lot. And it's just not easy. But I'm glad that I'm making content, or I'm making YouTube videos, or I'm streaming on Twitch, or I'm meeting new people, or being a part of other people's communities on Discord or whatnot. I'm glad that I could do that, because it makes me happy, and I know I'm doing something that I love, I'm not doing something that I hate. And it comes with its hardships, I made a video called Hate and Negativity on the podcast, and I talked about with this journey and this grind of Twitch and YouTube, it's gonna have its times where it's gonna be really rough, man, where I'm gonna get the death threats, I'm gonna get the hate comments, but I shouldn't let that scare me from continuing to do it, to make more content, because those people, they're foolish, they're ignorant, but that's how it is. And I chose this journey, I chose self-improvement, which is hard. I chose content creating, which is hard. I chose working on my mental health, working on my physical health, working out more. I chose all these things that are gonna be hard, and I chose to live most of all. I've never had suicidal thoughts, but I'm choosing to I've always just pressed on no matter what, and hopefully in the future I could talk about my past and how I got to this point. But all this stuff that I chose for myself is hard, but I know where it's gonna get me, and I know how much it's gonna mean to me when I'm there, and this my success is bigger than I am, I'm just I'm a piece of the puzzle, and I'm glad that every time I go through something positive or negative, I could put that puzzle piece on there, which is the overall, puzzle that is my life. So yeah, and I don't know, I'm just happy to share this with you guys, This is a pretty cool message. I'm glad I could talk about this, because this is stuff that I was thinking about this weekend, so I definitely hope, you guys enjoy this. I definitely hope it can help you out, or a friend or family member, anybody, And yeah, so thank you for listening to me. I'll cut it short here. So thanks for listening. This has been a really good podcast. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about, the stuff that I said about life being hard, or about anything, and, definitely update me on how you guys are doing, And I know we're having some weird times we're living in, but definitely comment down below how you guys are. What did you guys think of this podcast? And yeah, let's talk in the comments. And whatever you're going through in life, know that you can use it for the betterment of yourself and for others, and keep pressing on. And that's my message for you guys. You guys stay strong and follow the light in your heart, and I will see you guys next podcast. Heayman out.